Hi, welcome to my second attempt at my first YouTube video. I received a phone call from my wife, so lesson learned there. And when I tried to pause the video, I inadvertently messed up the whole project. So we're going to start over today with Plastidip, the application of, and as you can see, the red dip. It's supposed to be a fairly simple process, so we've already cleaned and prepped our pliers here. This is a set of pliers made by Diamaloy, made in the USA, which is why I wanted to resurrect these old pliers. And according to the directions, you just dip this in the Plastidip 1 inch for every 5 seconds. And we're going to do a 5 count because I'm lazy. And we're going to see how it turns out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And slowly remove it. As you can see, it's actually coming out pretty nice. There's a very uniform thickness to it right now. I'll hold it upside down just briefly so I don't get that dripped wet edge teardrop shape on the end. Alright, that looks nice. As you can see in the background while I'm doing this, underneath the Plastidip I'm using aluminum foil, just regular household aluminum foil. I've been told that when I reseal the Plastidip for storage, to cap it with aluminum foil underneath the supplied plastic cap. The other thing I'm using it for is any drips or dribbles. I'm going to keep it off the wood of my newly built workbench. So I'm going to pull this out again. You can see that little drip there. So to try and alleviate that, I'm going to turn it upside down for just a little bit. Let that smooth out and even out a little bit. Alright. So with our first coat done, I'm going to hang these, suspending them from some cordage I have above here, so that it can dry appropriately and hopefully not get too messed up. Again, trying to dry them over the top of the aluminum foil. Now, there's a mistake I just made off camera, which you're going to see, which is actually probably a good learning curve for both of us. Yeah, the cordage actually touched the Plastidip, and you can see it just wrecked it here. Just wrecked it entirely. So, without any further ado, for my additional attempt at Plastidipping, just grab an old t-shirt, wipe that off. You see the Plastidip takes about 30 minutes to set before you can put a second coating on it. Sorry, I'm out of frame. So I'm just going to wipe that off and try again. Again, slowly applying it straight down the pliers. Now, if you wanted to be very technical and professional about it, I'm sure you could mask this off and have very nice clean lines. I am neither a good painter nor a technical professional type. This is just simply to resurrect a quality pair of old pliers. Alright, once again holding them upside down just briefly to get rid of that little drip there. I'm going to take these scissors here and cut this excess off of this cordage so it doesn't spoil the results yet again. This time I'm just going to hang them over here a little bit lower so that the Plastidip doesn't come in contact with inadvertently with really anything. I'm just going to secure it with a simple clamp so that cordage hangs well. As you can see, the cordage is hanging at just a few inches off the workbench, so I do have some concerns with that, but we'll see how it goes. The next set that I'm going to be doing is an old set of lineman pliers. These are inexpensive Chinese lineman pliers, but again, I wanted to take off the handle coverings that were on them and go ahead and give it a shot for this Plastidipping. Alright, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One of the things you'll notice, the size of the handles that you're able to do with the dip as opposed to the aerosol is kind of dictated by the height of the can. I'm sure someone a little bit more adventurous than I could pour the contents of this can into a deeper cylinder. However, I'm not going to do that because I like to be able to reseal it in its original container. Alright, we're going to do the other side. I'm not overly worried about my count of 5 seconds per inch due to the fact that I do plan on, after 30 minutes, applying a second coat. And allowing this to have a thinner first coat probably is not going to hurt it. Again, I like to turn it upside down, so right up here you can see that it'll start evening out, rounding out for a smoother appearance. Go ahead and again hang this from our cordage. Utilizing a simple clamp, keep it from slipping. That just added way too much weight. We're not going to do that. We're going to lift this up a little higher. One thing I've learned from my first 2 failed attempts at this is if that Plastidip touches anything, ever so slightly, it is going to mar the finish. I am not a painter, nor have I ever claimed to be, but I do want to keep this from going into a 7th or 8th attempt. Now they say this Plastidip is useful for all kinds of projects, and I'm sure it is, and I look forward to doing that. In fact, right now I'm going to try something different because we have a little time. Oh, see right there, I just marred the finish on that edge by it just barely nicking my hand. See, you have to pay attention when dealing with this stuff. I think I'm going to let it go ahead and coat and set up, and hopefully we can correct that on our second attempt, our second coat. And as you can see in the back here, the pliers, the slip joint pliers, are setting up and it's coming out to a nice matte gloss, not a matte, a semi-gloss finish, as opposed to the wet that are still more of a higher gloss. So I have this little pry bar here. I believe it's it says K-D number 287 USA. I'm just going to simply dip this. I'm going to then just wipe off the edge of it. Why not, right? We're doing things quick and easy for the home improvement type guy. And we'll see how that turns out, and then we'll get it hung up. Let that sit there for a second so I can retrieve another clamp. I didn't plan this ahead because I wasn't planning on doing that. I just saw it sitting there and thought, hey, I'm going to try and get that one knocked out also. So I figure out what I'm going to clamp it to. When in doubt, use your vise. You're not going to be able to see the grip of this hanging off the vise as nicely. I'm going to remove this. Just going to use an old shirt here. Look how technically proficient my techniques are. I'll wipe that bad boy off starting right there. At the pry end. I can become pretty good at understanding how easy it is to wipe this stuff off. I'm simply clamping it on here so they can set up for the next 30 minutes. As previously discussed, I was told that wrapping or closing the Plastidip with aluminum foil underneath the cap will ensure that it doesn't harden and set up itself, providing a better seal, much like the original seal of aluminum here. Well, that's all for now. You'll have to come back and check out my next video, and we'll see the results.